Okay, today I'm gonna be doing something different than what I usually do. I'm gonna be reacting to a video by Breaking in the Habit, Father Casey from Upon Friar Review, I think it was called. Yeah, 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 it was. And he's got a video titled "An Open Letter to Atheists from a Priest." I took some time to respond. I originally had like a scripted response. I chose to shelve that because it just sucked. Hold on a second. I do know that light is like very distracting. I'm just gonna close the curtain, don't worry. Yeah, and I also had to go get a flashlight because it was just too dark. I realized too late. But that's it about that. Let's react to the video. Actually, before we react to the video, I wanna like say a few things beforehand, because I know this will be like, the kind of thing that like will get people wondering, is he an atheist? Is he an agnostic? What the hell is this guy? So to answer that, I'm just gonna go get something. Personally, I'm a LaVeyan Satanist. I align with the morality, I guess you could say. I align with the ethics of the Satanic Bible as written by Anton Szandor LaVey. This is the Spanish version, and it looks beautiful. It's the Spanish version, and I absolutely love this book. I align with the views of the Church of Satan, even though I'm not personally a follower of the Church of Satan. Oh right, this dude's a friar. He's got like a rope around the waist. You know what? Just to feel like special, I'm just gonna go do something like that. This is from a pirate costume. It's like a curtain that I cut up and made into a sash. So if you'll excuse me. There we go. That's the sash. I'm sorry if the intro's too long. I just didn't prepare. I mean, I scripted this, but it was like months ago. So I've basically forgotten everything I wrote there. Let's see this. And of course I get an ad. There we go. There we go. Hello.
Atheist. Thanks for clicking on this video. It means a lot to me, really.
No problem, man.
I'm a religious guy who's devoted my life to a God you don't believe in, so
Yeah.
You're taking a bit of a risk here that I might insult you, make you feel bad about your life, or at the very least, waste your time. I really do appreciate it, and I hope not to do any of those things here. Rather...
Yeah, in my case, it's like the same. It's not that it's not that I hate Christians, none of that. It's just that I'm too stupid to talk sometimes. And I can pretty much just 9 times out of 10 say the wrong thing. And then realize 5 seconds later.
I'd like to pose a question to you. It's a very simple question, in fact.
All right.
It is more of an exhortation from me to you. This question is not meant to trick you or convert you. I don't have some super ingenious question that will somehow inspire faith in a deity.
Me neither, buddy.
I'd love to. I'd rather just like to challenge you.
Bring it on.
You say that you're an atheist, that you don't believe in gods, and I just want to know one thing. Are you a good one? Are you a good atheist?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mean to brag, but I do have a knack for not believing in God. And if you're asking about morality, well, I get my morality from this, which is basically just respect is earned, but you have to start out giving respect and then decide if you can just take it back. And it doesn't have to be a really dickhead-ish sort of thing. It's just those people that don't deserve your respect, you can just ignore them, cut them out. You don't have to be a dick to them. It's not necessary.
It's a question that I ask with two things in mind. The
All
first
right.
being related to morality.
Yeah. Basically, like my morals are basically like what I said about respect being earned, and that all humans are like gods. This is something that it says in the official website of the Church of Satan. It's that the Satanist sees himself as a god. The Satanist sees himself as a god. Does that mean that we're just like egotistical? It can be, but it's not necessarily. It's not necessary. In fact, I think it was Richard Lale Lillard that described it best. We see ourselves as gods and we see other people as gods, and we treat those people with the respect one would give to a god when they deserve it. That's the explanation.
Religion in general, and Christianity in particular, doesn't necessarily make someone a moral person.
Mhm.
These ways of life do necessarily demand morality of adherence. There is
Yeah.
a particular code of life that one must live. In the case of Catholic Christianity, that code is one of peace and justice, mercy and forgiveness. It's a code that seeks to care for the poor and seek reparations for those who take advantage.
I mean, yeah, but let's not act like the church isn't as corrupt as any of the other churches. There's a lot of corruption in the church that needs to be fixed, and I hope it is fixed. I hope it is fixed. I'm not trying to like trash the Catholic Church. I'm not trying to like go against them or anything. No. No. What I am saying is that there's some stuff there, like in any other religion really, that needs to be fixed and people need to work towards fixing it. What the Catholic Church is doing is like the same thing that the Mormons and the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing. They're just waving it away. Don't do that. Focus on those issues. Try to fix them. Try to fix them.
With the vulnerable. Now, Lord knows we don't always live up to our founder and
True.
have actually done some pretty atrocious things through the years, but it is our faith that at least informs us when we do these things and gives us and reminds us a moral code to live by, reminds us that it's not an option. We must strive to be good people. Now, as someone who doesn't have this foundation, who doesn't
Yeah.
believe in a God or adhere to a religion, there is no superstructure making this demand on your life. No one telling you how to live in certain situations.
Nope.
Without a belief in an afterlife, there might be a feeling that all the world is futile, so what difference does it make?
You're conflating atheism with nihilism, my friend. And that's a problem. Not all atheists are nihilists. I'm not a nihilist. I'm closer to an existentialist. And actually, Nietzsche is too. Yeah, Friedrich Nietzsche. People consider him to be a nihilist. He's not. He's an existentialist. And that belief basically says life has no meaning. But that's not an issue. Make one for yourself. It's like absurdism, where basically just like, oh, life has no meaning? Okay, who cares? So it's like they don't care. They don't mind that life has no meaning. They don't mind that life has no meaning. They can choose their own.
This, of course, does
Yeah.
not need to be the case.
Exactly.
Some of the world's greatest humanitarians, some of the most influential figures today promoting peace and justice efforts,
Exactly.
are not adherents to a religion, but live morally out of a commitment to humanity, a recognition of our interconnectedness, an acknowledgement that there is something good in itself about loving one another, about sacrifice. And so I ask you, are you a good atheist? Even though there may be no eternal reward or punishment, even though you're free to do whatever you want, do you choose the virtuous path that benefits not only you, but others? I hope so.
I try to. There's some times where I may, do something selfish that doesn't benefit other people, that is like a dick move. But I try to keep it at a minimum. I know there's like a very slim chance that I'll be able to just like get rid of it. But I'm not like concerned with trying to get rid of it. I'm just concerned with minimizing it because I know I won't be able to get rid of it entirely.
The world needs good atheists.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the word good points to more than just a sense of morality. It also represents an evaluation of aptitude. When I ask if
Okay.
you're a good atheist, I want to know if you're good at being an atheist. Do you
Well, like I said, I don't mean to brag, but I'm quite good at not believing in God.
articulate why you don't believe in God in a coherent way, or you just think that religion's dumb, so use logical?
Okay, no, it's basically like they may use some coherent arguments, but those arguments don't personally convince me. After all, it's basically just a matter of opinion. Whether to believe in God or not, it's an opinion. And so people can hold these distinct opinions and try to defend them and try to debunk them. But at the end of the day, you're just basically doing nothing. And the reason I don't believe in God, it's basically I don't see like evidence that convinces me. And I think that if there was a God that personally knew me, he would know what evidence would convince me.
Fallacies. Have you explored the depths of your mind and heart, asking the real questions of life, of death, faith, and reason? Seek.
I think that was my first ever like existential crisis during the quarantine. Like before I even like deconverted. Yeah, I was asking myself those questions. Yeah.
Seeking to understand what this human life is really about. You just not want to go to church, so this'll do.
Actually, ever since I stopped being a Christian, I've been to more churches. Surprisingly, I've been to the Catholic church next to my former school, and I've been to a Mormon church that's like a few streets over there, and I've been to I think it was a Protestant church in another like city, because it was around Christmas time and they had like this really cool choir. And I'm a sucker for good music, so I just went there to listen to some tunes.
Have you read the critical atheist thinkers of history? People like Nietzsche, Sartre, Feuerbach, Heidegger.
Okay, this is nothing to do with being an atheist, but I have, yeah. Personally, I have. But that's not really like defining what's a good atheist. People can just like not believe in God. There is that option where it's just like, I don't believe in God. And that's still an atheist. But when you're talking about people like Nietzsche, Sartre, Feuerbach, and all those others, I have. Because my school had philosophy classes, and I loved them. I loved those philosophy classes because they taught us about these great thinkers of the past. But it's not like mandatory to be an atheist.
People who really ask the challenging questions, who pose thoughtful insights of the world. Or just stick with people like Richard Dawkins, people who...
I've never read Richard Dawkins. I've heard of his books like The God Delusion and stuff. But I've never personally taken the time to actually read anything by Richard Dawkins. I've just heard of him. I've just heard of the guy, and it's like, okay, whatever. He's like a famous atheist. Okay. It's the same with like the others. Like there's this other one that apparently like a few years ago became a Christian or something. And I was like, okay. my life will remain the same no matter if this person's a Christian or not.
Provide great sound bites for the cause, yippee, but do little to add anything to the world other than strawman arguments and divisiveness.
I mean, yeah, but don't try to act like there isn't also strawmanning on the other side. You could call out Richard Dawkins, I could call out Kent Hovind. And Matt Powell. And I forgot the third one's name. I'm gonna have to look it up.
If you read for yourself the works of real theologians, people articulating our beliefs in the best way we know how.
Yeah.
Karl Rahner, John Henry Newman, Joseph Ratzinger, Augustine of Hippo, Henri de Lubac. Or do you stick?
I mean, not like all of those, but yeah, I've studied it for a good while. On my own. It's not like I went to any seminary or anything. I'm just barely 18. And I studied these during my spare time because religion is a subject I find deeply fascinating, and the psychology behind religion is something that is amazing to me.
With the simplicity of evangelical pastors from some rural anti-intellectual church.
I've heard more from those churches than I've heard from the other guys. And I can't understand how that can cloud the mind and can churn out this like really negative perception of the church. That's why I try to keep a level head and remind myself, most people aren't like this. Most people aren't like this. And it's hard, but I do it. I try to... Most of the times I just remind myself, most people are not like this. Most people aren't like anti-intellectuals because of religion. And in fact, religion has produced some like geniuses in the world. Like, for example, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, great guy. Great guy, discovered gravity. Hell yeah. Heck yeah. Sorry.
I ask all of this not to be accusatory, at least not overly accusatory.
Alright, fair.
But to simply challenge you to go deeper in your thought. Simply declaring yourself an atheist and going about your life isn't enough. Just as saying you're a Christian.
I mean, it can be a start. Maybe it's enough as a start. But yeah, you still have to like mull all those things over. You still have to think about it. And once you do, then you'll realize, am I an atheist? Am I a theist? In my case, I came out an atheist. I realized, okay, I don't believe what these people are saying, so alright, whatever. It really, like, the only change it did was that I started finding, like, I deconverted during, like, my last few years of school. And so what happened was I was starting to get sick of the rituals that they would often do. I understand that it was a religious school, but it's just like, for how much longer am I gonna have to just like have to go through this? I mean, it wasn't unbearable, but it definitely wasn't how I wanted to start my day.
Christian and never reading the Bible wouldn't be enough. Ask more questions. Read more perspectives. Be able to...
Amen. It means so be it. People can use it. Ask more questions. Read more perspective. Read more perspectives. Yes. Yes. Everyone, go ahead. Do that. Do that. And maybe we could have like better conversations that don't result in ad hominems like, I don't know, like he said, Richard Dawkins or Kent Hovind or Matt Powell. So, yeah. Ask more questions. Read more perspectives. And try to articulate
your understanding of the world with logic.
Of the world, yeah. Try to articulate your understanding of the world with logic and reasoning. That will actually add something to the world. Yeah, I'm basically reading... I'm reading the captions, yeah. But what he's saying in this part is, like, so true that I just felt like it needed repeating.
and reasoning that will actually add something to the world.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. People of faith need you to be good atheists. We do.
Huh? Huh? Okay.
As a Christian, I don't want you to be a bad atheist with an unexplored mind just regurgitating fallacies.
Oh, yeah. That makes more sense. Yeah, because if you're just regurgitating fallacies, you're just wasting your time. I mean, you might convince some people that aren't educated enough on the subject, but that would just make you a con man.
I want you to ask questions that we've never thought to answer. I want you to be so smart that it challenges us to be smarter. As crazy as it sounds, I would much rather you be a good atheist than just an atheist. And so that is my
I mean, yeah, I do think we should pursue knowledge whenever we can. But I feel like some people just are atheists and just don't care about a lot of this stuff. So if you're just an atheist chilling, that's fine. But if you can, like, broaden your insight into some of these things, by all means, do it. It would be amazing. So I guess that's where I'll end it. 5 minutes and 13 seconds of Casey's video. And wait, minus 21 minutes. Going on 22. This is... I know I talk a lot, but wow. Yeah, and I did waste a lot of time with the intro, but whatever. Alright, I guess that's where I'll leave it. See y'all next time. Be good people. And not necessarily because a book asks you to. Be good people for the hell of it. It's like I describe being good, being empathetic as drinking a beer, but without all the negative stuff. It's just like it makes you feel good for a while, but it doesn't necessarily later on lead to a hangover. That's what being good to others feels like to me, personally. It's like a beer without the hangover. And I'll leave it at that. See ya. Take care.